Record Store Day 2023 is happening on April 22nd at independent record stores across North America. Rock fans everywhere are going to be lining up real early to get some of that sweet, sweet exclusive vinyl. And although this year's crop of rock releases for Record Store Day aren't as strong as years past, there are still some key releases worth keeping an eye out for. The Black Keys are releasing Live at the Beachland Tavern March 21st, 2002, which is a previously unreleased recording of their first show ever at that venue. They're releasing this as a celebration of their 20th anniversary as a band, and it's really cool that they're putting this out because not a lot of bands have a copy of their first ever show that they can release on vinyl, and if you're a big fan of the Black Keys, this is going to be a must-have. Blur present the special collector's edition is getting released on vinyl for the first time ever. It was originally released in Japan only back in 1994 and features B-sides from the band's first 3 studio albums. Everybody knows I'm an Oasis guy myself. I love Blur, but if I was a bigger fan, I would definitely be lining up for this one. Paul McCartney is issuing a 50th anniversary edition of the Wings album Red Rose Speedway, this time as a half-speed master. Definitely not one of McCartney's better albums, and definitely not a must-have, but if you're a completionist, you're going to want to pick this one up. Record Store Day Canada ambassadors Our Lady Peace are releasing a 2 LP collection featuring their best hits from 1994 to 2022. Comes on clear vinyl and is remastered from the original recordings. Now, I love OLP's early material. I grew up on their stuff in the 90s, but they definitely dropped off my radar many years ago. But if you're looking to get all their hits in one spot, even some of their lackluster newer material, this is the place to get it. And one of the most anticipated rock releases for Record Store Day this year is Pearl Jam's Give Way. Now, this is a recording of their famed show on March 5th, 1998 at Melbourne Park in Melbourne, Australia during the Yield Tour, which is still one of the best, if not the best, Pearl Jam albums. This is receiving its first ever vinyl release, and for those of us who still love CDs like myself, it's actually receiving an official CD release as well after the original release was canceled back in 1998. So guaranteed Pearl Jam fans are going to be lining up for this one on Record Store Day this year on April the 22nd. And speaking of vinyl, one that is not being released for Record Store Day, but it's still a huge release on the calendar this year, is Tame Impala's Lonerism 10th Anniversary reissue that's going to be released on May the 26th. So this box set's going to be released on 3 LPs with brand new artwork. It's going to feature unreleased demos as well as a huge 24-page booklet. Not that much in terms of unreleased material that we haven't heard, though. Only 3 extra tracks are going to feature on this release. And I love Lonerism. Great album, and I've continued to be a huge Tame Impala fan. I think Kevin Parker is one of the best people making music on the planet right now. So more Tame Impala is always a good thing in my book. And the Lonerism box set comes out on May the 26th. And Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds are teaming up with Garbage and Metric for a North American tour that kicks off on June the 2nd, just in time for the release of Noel's new album, Council Skies. Not 2 bands I would normally expect to tour together, Noel Gallagher and Garbage, but it's a solid lineup. The tour includes all the usual stops in North America, LA, Phoenix, Chicago, New York, and much more. And I already got my tickets for the Toronto stop at Budweiser Stage on July the 3rd. But man, these ticket prices are getting out of hand. On Ticketmaster.ca for this show, decent seats were $150 at least, with the price going up only from there as you got closer to the stage. So I went with the cheapest seats possible, the general admission lawn seats at Budweiser Stage. You know, Noel Gallagher is my hero. Everybody knows that, but I got bills to pay, and I'm still super excited for this tour, though. Super excited for the show on July the 3rd, and Noel's new album, Council Skies, comes out on June the 3rd, and tickets for the tour are on sale now. And finally, speaking of tours, Guns N' Roses have announced a 2023 world tour, which will see the band stopping in the Middle East for a couple of shows before they head to Europe and finally North America for a run of shows this summer and fall. The stops include Tel Aviv, Madrid, London, Rome, and everywhere across North America. I still find it absolutely mind-blowing that a reunited GNR with Axl, Slash, and Duff is still going strong, and there haven't been any incidents of anything happening on these tours. They've been together for a while now, and nothing's happened. Axl hasn't backed out of any shows. They've been going strong, and they've been raking in the cash on their tours. So I wish I could say I was going to this one because I like GNR, but I saw the reunited GNR in Toronto back in 2017, and aside from Slash, who is of course still a guitar god, it was one of the worst shows I've ever been to. Just a mashup of loud sound and Axl's shrill vocals and songs I didn't even know or want to know. I wanted to love it, but it was not for me. But for GNR fans, you're out there. It's time to get excited for this tour, and tickets are on sale now for the Guns N' Roses World Tour 2023.